somebody's gonna walk in and I'm gonna have to explain myself. The number one question that I get asked is, what camera should I buy? What an insanely broad question. The answer will always be dependent on what you're filming most and what kind of pictures you want to take. Product shoots, vlogs, TikToks, reels, headshots, model shots, in studio, out studio, low light. There's a billion different options. So instead of telling you what camera you should buy, I'm gonna tell you which cameras are in the Hit Factory right now that we at Hit Network use on a regular basis. First up, we got the FX6, and I'm filming with that right now. This rig looks ridiculous. I'm gonna take a picture of it. It's a production camera, it's large. In fact, I'm going to switch to my second favorite camera right now so that I can hold the camera and point to it and show you what all the buttons do. Here it is. As you can see, it's a big beefer. This camera is actually incredibly hard to find. More than likely, you're better off getting the Mark II instead of trying to get the Mark I. Mark II hasn't even been announced yet. You'll probably get that sooner than if you put an order in for this. I ordered mine October 2020, I believe it was. Got it 4 months later, and I thought that was bad. People are still waiting for theirs, and they ordered towards the beginning of 2021. I would never vlog with this camera. This is a production camera meets cinema camera. What does that even mean? We've got XLR inputs. There's like a billion audio channels on this suckfest. There's so many buttons. I know what every single one does. So with this, you can do HDMI out or SDI out, which is very helpful. It's a great streaming camera. We use this here for BitBoy Crypto specials. We use this for Dire Armory stuff and slow motion shooting. This is a great handheld rig. Right now I've got the 24-105 on it, which can give me some great range if I'm run and gunning, and this is a great run and gun setup. As you can see, it's got the handle. You can hold it like this. I put this little knobby jobby on it so I can like rest it on my head. I know that seems kind of silly and everybody asks me about it, but you know, $4 just to have a more stable shot. It's got a variable ND filter. The top handle can actually come off and you can reconfigure all of this into a much more compact setup. I've actually put this on a very small gimbal Ronin S before. So this is a $6,000 camera and the batteries are gonna be pretty expensive. They're anywhere between like $130 to like $300. And you should probably have a minimum of 2. I like to have like 5, just in case. And each memory card is $400. It has 2 slots, which is very convenient. Up next, we've got the Sony FX3, and we have 7 or 8 of these roaming around the building on tripods. Some have a teleprompter attached to them. We just want to be ready at any given time to film something. I'm actually filming with an FX3 right now, so you can kind of see that there's barely any quality difference between the Sony FX6 and the Sony FX3. There's just some minor differences. As you can see here, it's much smaller. The lens that's on this that I'm recording with is a 20mm lens, and that gives it the wide look. The one that's on this right here is the 24-70, which is kind of a brick. It's a little heavy. So not so much a vlogging lens, because if you were to hold this up like this, your arm's gonna get heavy in 2 seconds. I'm already toast. But when you've got this lens on it, the 20mm, it's super light. It's much shorter. You can hold the camera like this, flip the screen around so you can see what you're doing, and talk to the lens like this, or hold it vertically and talk to it like this. So I think it's definitely a must that cameras nowadays have the screen that flips around. Everybody's vlogging. These are great for that. So on top of vlogging, we do use these FX3s to stream some of our more popular shows. We've got Frankie Candles, all the Meta Money stuff is shot with FX3s. BitBoy Crypto, the live stream, we're streaming with FX3s. Another great thing about these cameras that the FX6 doesn't really have is the in-body stabilization. When you're holding a camera out like this, it could be a little weeble wobbly, but the IBIS takes care of that really well. Or if you're holding it out like this, like I said before, this lens is kind of a brick, so it's shaky. Your hands might be jittering a little bit. The IBIS helps a lot. Another great thing about this camera, compared to other cameras in this style, we've got 1/4-inch screw holes all around the camera. So you can put a cage on this, yes, but it kind of comes with a cage because you can screw all these different attachments. Even right here, you can screw this tripod plate to the side so you can get those vertical shots on a tripod. Not so much of a picture-taking camera, but there's other cameras that we use for that. For audio inputs, when it looks like this, you have the option to do an 1/8-inch mic right here, kind of like this one. You just put it on the top, plug it in, and the audio is much better. This audio would sound even better if I was using that mic, which I'm not because it died this morning. Now, if you don't want to use that mic, you have the top handle option. This just screws right on top. Finger tight is finger loose. Now with the top handle on, you pretty much have the same audio options as you had with the Sony FX3. You've got 2 XLR inputs now. But if you're making like a B-roll video or want to put this bad boy on a gimbal, it's super lightweight. Take that thing off. And the mic on the camera or the one that I just showed you, it's also got a digital zoom on it. So if you're working with a prime lens or even if you're working with a 24 to 70, you can put it on 24 or 70 and then zoom in that much more. Like this. Now, before I move on from Sony, I just want to mention how great both the FX6 and the FX3 are in low light conditions. It's got 2 base ISOs, one at 800 and another at 12,800. Now, when you start going past 800, it gets more and more grainy until you hit that 12,800 and then it's crystal clear again. So in many cases, you don't have to spend another fortune on high-speed lenses. All right, we got to talk about money now. This bad boy is $3,800, which is still expensive, totally worth it in my opinion. So another difference between this and the FX6 is the batteries. The batteries that this camera takes are smaller, they don't last as long, but on the plus side, they're only $80 each. So I have 5, and 2 or 3 may last me an entire day of filming. All right, welcome to the world of Panasonic. This is a Panasonic CX1500. It's a 4K camera. You can stream in 4K. It's got HDMI outputs. This is a lower quality one, and the picture still looks great if you know how to light. This is a cheaper camera, but I can't poo-poo on it too much because we live streamed BitBoy Crypto's show for a year with these cameras. We've since upgraded to the Sony FX3s for that stream, but we do still have 4 of these Panasonics kind of floating around the building, used on some shows, used on some live streams, and it still looks great. Definitely not a vlogging camera. I can't see anybody holding this thing up and facing them. Probably not so much for commercial work or cinematic work, just because it doesn't have that feel. But if you want to stream something or make some YouTube content, this is totally a great camera for only $1,800, and you don't have to buy another lens. You don't have to buy a ton of batteries for this thing, because more than likely this isn't the camera that you're running around for like a 10-hour shoot day with. All right, we're in the GoPro world now. We're all familiar with GoPros and what they're capable of. This particular one is the GoPro IX. As you can see and hear, the quality is just significantly lower. I feel like this is well lit enough, but the camera itself is practically indestructible. This one has a screen in the front. As you can see, it's kind of glitchy. So as a vlogging camera, the glitch is kind of distracting. So I wouldn't suggest this for a vlogging camera. The battery doesn't last that long, but it's also just a $400 camera. The memory cards are super cheap. If you're looking for a camera to just get like outdoor footage, this is good enough. Definitely an action camera. At Hit Network, we've used this camera for things like time lapses, action shots, obviously. We've attached it to a gun before. The 2 biggest pet peeves that I have with the GoPro is the bit rate, which is how fast data is transferred to the memory card. They seem to have always dumbed that down so that it's faster. On the plus side though, a memory card is going to hold just more footage, but it makes the quality of the video just less, especially in low light, which is my second pet peeve, is it is not a low light camera whatsoever. So coverage of outdoor stuff, great. And we are filming with the GoPro right now, actually.
Just a little guy.
Okay, the last camera that we use probably more than any other camera, and you're gonna think I'm nuts after showing you a $6,000 camera, but the one that we all use the most, and that's this one, actually looks pretty good. It's the iPhone 12, pretty much any camera that you have on your phone right now. It's the cheapest one because you already own it. It's capable of plenty. And in my opinion, when you're scrolling through Instagram or something and you're just looking at meaningless content, it's probably content shot with a phone, and it's the most authentic in my opinion. We are constantly filming high-end videos here. We're also filming kind of the low-end fun content too. So whether you need the high-end professional cinematic stuff all the way down to just the fun online content, these are the cameras that we all use here at Hit Network on a daily basis in order to help us create as much as possible. I probably should have said create more, huh?